Right, guys, welcome back to the 2HeadsPodcast. I am Cavan.
And I'm Mukhtar.
And welcome to 2HeadsPodcast.
Okay, what's good, people? We are back, 2HeadsPodcast. Me and my boy, we getting it in. And guys, before we go into anything, make sure to subscribe, like, and follow. Today, we have the lovely TopNotch Baby, if anyone knows of on Instagram. She's a rapper, am I right?
That's right, yeah.
Rapper, singer, she has her own podcast. I've been following and I've been seeing a lot of her videos online from like years. I first started seeing her videos on Facebook, and I am honoured. I think me and my boys sat here, we said, look, let's get her in, let's see what this is about, let's see where she's from, let's see a little bit of background, let's dig in a little bit more for you guys to understand who she is. So we delighted and honoured for you to be in today.
Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm going to bring you really back. So your name is, your Top-Notch Baby, your name is?
Arazu.
Yeah. Arazu.
Tabarasi.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, so my parents are from Iran and they would have came over to Ireland, and then I was the second born child, and then my brother a year later after me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice. And what age did you move out? Or did you go to school in Iran?
So I was never born in Iran. I was born here in Ireland.
Oh, so you were born in Ireland.
That's
okay.
right, yeah. So I've never been to Iran. I don't know the history, like much of it, like, you know.
Awesome. And around what time did your parents come to Ireland?
Yeah, so 89. Well, I was born in 89. I don't know exactly when they came over, but my sister now, she'd be probably 5-6 years older than me.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. And so, like, you and your sister were born in Ireland?
So my sister's actually born in Iran.
Oh, she was born in Ireland. So she's the oldest, yeah?
That's right. And then it's actually quite funny because I think I look like I'm more from Iran than she is.
Yeah.
So, so she was born over there, then I was born here, and then my brother, so she had two of us here and my sister from Iran.
Nice.
Wow.
And like you went to school in Dublin the whole lot.
That's right, yeah. So St. Francis Xavier School,
okay.
I would have went to when I was like a little baby. And then I went to Topnotch Community College in my teen years growing up, so yeah.
Nice. And come here, growing up in Dublin, a young kid, being a little bit different, colour-wise, everything-wise, what was it like growing up around Dublin?
Yeah, it was absolutely difficult. Really difficult. Like, I have to say, looking back, I'm actually shocked how difficult as a child the upbringing was. Like, because you look at the kids today and like you'd never want to see them cry or hurt, or like, and then to know that I went through so much pain just because of different things that I didn't understand as a kid, to endure those things. But you know, I don't regret stuff because it shaped me to who I am today. I'm very humble as a person. I've experienced so much pain and endured so much that I do not want to give that on to someone else. So I feel from something bad came something good, because I know what it's like to feel that pain. So I want to see people happy and stuff.
Awesome.
Wow, that's powerful shit. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
And like when you say pain, like what are we talking about? Bullying, racism. Like what sort of pain?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a mixture of everything combined. A lot of, you know, from differences and stuff. And because I was dealing with my dad leaving at a young age as well, and then my mum coming here, she didn't really know much of the culture here. So, you know, it was quite difficult because it was her then left on her own in Ireland with 3 kids. Her husband gone, that she was like hoping of this fairy tale. She's left with 3 kids, stressed out. So for me, I was from all angles, like my mum was stressed out, so she couldn't show me love. I went to school, I was told them I was going to be on the telly, all that stuff as a kid. I told them that and they bullied me and ridiculed me. And then with the bit of racism, you know, me feeling that there was something wrong with me. So I just automatically presumed there's something wrong with me and that I was different. So it led me into a dark place.
Okay. And going into dark place, did you have people to talk to, or did you have anyone close by that helped you?
I did, but they were the wrong type of people, unfortunately.
You mind shining the light a little bit on that for me, please?
Yeah, so basically I would have found myself getting in with the hood, the gang, and I thought that was okay because they accepted me, so I felt like I was part of. But unfortunately, the gang showed me the wrong sort of things to get involved in, you know, so, you know, they were out there going out and, you know, criminality, all that kind of stuff. So just being associated with them, I didn't realise, I was just, at that time I was vulnerable because, you know, what you see, you just kind of participate in, you're part of, you know. So unfortunately for me, I went into that wrong direction, you know, drink became the habit, you know, smoking hash with friends in the fields became the habit of sitting around. You know, we all thought we were great. Oh, I'm after you, on the joint and stuff like that. So we were just getting into these habits, you know, and that became a thing then, a regular thing, unfortunately.
It's just a proper, like, Irish behaviour, basically. Like, I grew up the exact same way.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember when I was young, when I was a kid, like, we used to put 5 of us together to get a lump of hash.
A bit of hash,
5 of us would go on.
Black,
5 of us would go on and go put 5 in to get a quarter. And, like, we'd be all smoking, and by the end, by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, when we all have to go on, we have a scissors of who's holding the hash the night before. And
Similar times.
And whoever wins gets to hold the hash and gets to smoke one joint. So we used to put a line on the hash of where you know what I mean? It's a pure Irish mentality and being in the fields and having fun. I think that's, like, to be honest with you, like, I know, like, all them days are gone.
Yeah.
A lot of it is gone now. The kids nowadays are different, you know, like, they don't even want to get dirty, you
That's
know.
good to hear,
like, but we were growing up, when I was growing up, and we were growing up around where we were from, it was all about the wheelie bins, robbing the wheelie bins, the ears, the fucking drinking all day, you know, horses.
Partying all week.
Partying all week, So, like, do you reckon, like, being out with them type of people taught you a lot?
Do you know, looking back, I wouldn't like my daughter to go through it. That's the honest thing, right? But yeah, it has taught me a lot because, like, I've learned a lot. I've grown so much as a woman now because I was a girl at that time. So experience that stuff. Unfortunately, I wouldn't like any girl to experience it. But I feel like because I've experienced so much, I can help others to not do those things. So sometimes someone has to, like, walk kind of into the fire to burn to realise to tell everyone, like, no, don't go that direction.
Go that way,
if I got saved through that fire, it's like, whoa, that's powerful. And I feel like if I've got that chance to be able to be that voice to help those girls today, that's what I'm here to do. Have a purpose.
Brilliant.
That's amazing. Yeah,
that's
and
nice.
it's funny as well when you look back. when you're there in it as a kid, you're just a kid, and like you said earlier, you're not really aware of what is right and what is wrong. You're just kind of doing it, and it's only when you look back that you go, "Fucking hell!" Like that was some mad shit, you know?
Like when you're younger, things that seems natural to you is like totally not right.
It's only when you're in your 30s, have kids, you go, "Fuck, that was wrong."
I shouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, so, being in the field with the lads, the girls, drinking, partying, have you any regrets?
Yeah, like, in terms of regrets, of course I do, because, you know, when you're a kid, look, girls are chasing boys, boys are chasing girls, or if you're gay, you're chasing, you know what I mean? So you're on that chase, that high of like, oh yeah, I want a connection, and you don't know what love is. It's funny because everyone thinks, oh, I'm going to find the love of my life. Some people might, and they might have grown through childhood with that, which is brilliant, but a lot of kids don't understand how to love. So you're not going to attract that as a kid. So you're just chasing and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm happy with this person, and you're really not. You're going through your own pain, and that person is going through pain. So when you connect, it's not love, it's just an escape. You know, so I just feel like for kids, they need to like get to learn about themselves and realize it's okay to be single, that they don't need the title relationship to be valued, and then value themselves and then value a good relationship.
And like being in that headspace back then, and like drinking, smoking, did you develop any drug habits? Were you ever addicted to any drug habits, like sleepers, anything like that?
Yeah, unfortunately, like, you know, putting my hands up to this because I don't really want to put my hands up to this, but unfortunately I did end up like on practically everything except for like acid and like injecting, you know, stuff like that. So I really went really down with. Do you mind me asking you to really clarify what everything is, as in like by name, like for example, weed, ease, coke, MDMA, ketamine. I think so. Once, I did actually. Ketamine, acid. No,
you said you didn't go near that. Heroin.
Unfortunately,
Did you smoked it clearly? Yeah. So heroin, you smoked it. Crack.
Again, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, meth.
Jesus, I don't think I did.
And like, no. I have to give you nothing but respect for you to sit here and for me to name them out and for you to be so honest. And this is what I love about podcasts, because podcasts are where you just things that you couldn't get honesty from is where you shine the light on it, is on podcasts. And I really truly respect that you came onto this to be able to talk to us like that.
So open,
and you're so open about it. So okay, so you went through all that, yeah. Were you homeless at any time when you were going through any of this?
So that's the thing. When I was living in Blanchardstown, I was about 14, and because I was living in that area, it was like the new houses on the estate, and my mum got given that place, right? So already, like, people were like, you know, intimidating all the people on that road, like, you shouldn't be living there. Yeah. So like, they were harassing my mum and stuff like that, and I was only a kid, so I'm moving in, I'm listening to 50 Cent, blaring that out, PIMP. I remember, you know, I moved in this house, I'm like, I'm just a kid growing up, do you know what I mean? And like, then after a while, I was like, what is going on? Like, I just, like, a kid trying to grow up and trying, like, have fun, be happy,
your own
and all.
life,
So like, I actually got attacked by 8 girls, right? I remember this vividly, right? So basically, I was with 2 girls that I got to know and became friends. So we're hanging out, and then just like, Little's is gone now. It was just around the corner from Sheetmore where I was living, right? So we were crossing that road, and Little's, they changed over, updated it, but the Little's at the time before they knocked it down, at that side, all these girls were drinking, and they're much older than me. I was only 14 at the time, right? And the 2 girls went across the road, and they called me, so I turned back and left my 2 friends and walked over. Didn't know what I was getting myself into, just thought, okay, these girls want to talk to me, so like, just pure innocence. Next minute, out of nowhere, they're all attacking me. I'm only 14, I'm getting beaten up by all these girls. I remember one girl didn't attack me, and she stood there, and that's why I admire her still to this day, because she didn't get involved just because they all got involved. They were all drunk and all, and I remember feeling like, what the hell, like, I remember a bit of blood and stuff, and just being all shaken up by that. And then I left the 2 friends because they just stood there, they didn't know what to do, and I just walked around to where I was living, the address at the time, Sheetmore, and there was a field across the road. Next minute, a group of more girls come over, and I was like, what, are they coming for round 2 now? And they came over and started hugging me and kissed me on the cheek. We're so sorry and all. So I was like,
Just
confused. Same group of girls.
What the
So I was so confused by that. I was like, what the hell? And that, like, you know, I'm not giving an excuse into my drug addiction stuff, but like, after a few beatings to the head and stuff, looking back, I'm like, because I was like, why did I end up the way that I did? You know, so unfortunately, that stuff endured a lot of pain.
100%. And let me take you back. Like, at what age did you reckon you start dabbling into the heavy drugs? Like,
it was about 14 onwards.
You started at 14? Yeah.
So you'd say that kind of incident would have probably nearly propelled you forward into that, like.
You know, it's. Do you know what? Looking back now, it probably did. You know, unfortunately, because before that, I was afraid of even like picking up cigarettes and stuff like that. And then when I didn't care. I had I just felt so much in pain after that, and felt confused, and even trusting girls. After that, like, I was more latched on to hanging around with guys, because I just thought they weren't going to fight with me, do you know, that kind of way. So I lost the trust and faith in girls being, you know, being there for you. I just felt like, what the hell? What? And do you know the maddest thing about it, right? I wondered, I always asked, like, why did they do that? And I found out, right? So a guy that's a twin, right, from Blanchardstown, was trying to chat me up, right? Asked for my number. I said no, because I didn't want it, right? And I left that, but because they heard that he was trying to chat me up, they got annoyed over it, and then, it was jealousy. Crazy, like.
Yeah, jealousy.
Hell, it's mad shit, isn't it? Yeah.
But like, these things happens, and they're still going on. Like, you know, I always say that Ireland has involved a lot. You know, like, it's grown, it's home. It's home to a lot of us. But like, growing up in Ireland, our young kids being different. You know, I felt like I put this jacket on to pretend to be someone that I wasn't. When I got to a certain age where I could remove that jacket, I took that jacket off, and a lot of friends fell with that jacket that I'm not with anymore. And like, that's why when I'm asking you these questions, I see myself kind of in you when we come to that type of way. And I understand where you're coming from. But like, that brings me to, so from 14 you started there. So what in around what age did you start looking for help to get off everything?
So that's the thing. I didn't understand that I had a problem. So I didn't look for help. My mom realised there was something going on.
So you were still living at home? You weren't homeless then?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so my mom tried to help me. She got, like, you know, youth workers, all that kind of stuff, like, for me, and they got involved. I remember 2 ladies that were my youth workers trying to help me, but like, my mom even said that they didn't really like try to help me, because if anything, they made me more hyper and more out there and stuff like that. So it didn't really help. In a sense, it did. They were good, and I remember they were like trying to. But with what was going on for me, I was just spiraling out of control because it just more pain started coming in, more things, and I always had the resentment of my dad leaving. I didn't realise that caused such a pain to me. But just not having a daddy figure, and the fact that I always just remember him saying goodbye and hugging me crying, saying, "Daddy, don't go." That was a trauma for me growing up as a kid because I just felt like he left me, and then I felt like, I'm not good enough. My dad's after leaving, my mom's giving out all the time at me, then these girls are attacking me. So I was just getting all this, feeling hatred. And the thing is, I actually started to learn how to hate myself. Didn't hate them. I learned how to hate myself over that.
That's powerful shit. And again, like that as well, like it's, as a kid in the moment, they're all just parts of your day and things that kind of build up, but as you get older, and it leaves a mark on you, without a doubt. And at what age did your ma take the thing to get someone in to try and help you? Was that like, is there a time frame where you were doing all this shit and she was none the wiser, or was it pretty quick turnaround when she twigged something was up and tried to get you some help? So
she definitely did figure out stuff earlier on, because I was staying out later than I should have. I remember the first time of staying out longer than I should have. I was always afraid because my mum was very strict, and so when she'd say come back, I'd try and get back. But there was one time, myself and my friend at the time, because sadly she passed away there, she stayed in addiction, unfortunately, so she lost her life sadly. So at the time, myself and her, when we were kids, we'd stay out a bit late, but I try and get back on time, because my mum would have a certain time that I have to get back for. But there was these two guys, much older than us. They were having the drinks and all. One tried to chat me up. I said no, I wasn't having a bar of it. But my friend ended up drinking and wanting to be with the other guy. So unfortunately, the guards came up now and they said, look, what's going on? So I was able to leave and I walked on, because I wasn't participating in what they were doing. So I was just trying to get home. And then the other guy came up to me and says, so what, you're just going to leave your friend then? And I was like, yeah, but I have to get home. I'm late. And he's like, you're late, are you? Well, if you're going to be late, sure. It doesn't matter how late you are, you're still going to get the same. So that happened. And then that was my first time staying out the night with her. And then we left those two people because I wanted to get away from them. But we ended up going down to Ladies Well. And then I knew a girl out there, so we hung out with them and a few. But it was just mad. That's when it started getting into, right, well, I can do what I want now. That attitude then.
Now you're beating the clock.
Lifts the veil. You realise you're not getting in as much shit as you thought you were. So you're able to get away with it, Do you have anything else I was going to go into?
No, for me, okay, so now you start hanging out with the different girls, all that, clearly, how long are you clean now?
So I basically decided to get clean because I was with my ex-partner, the father of my baby at the time, and I fell back into that because I had guilt and shame and kept bringing up my past and stuff. So that hold on me made me feel down. And then one day he had it in front of me, and then I spiraled back with him on that, and I ended back. And then when I kept fighting to get back away from it, because I pushed to get away from it, I didn't want that life, and I was so depressed. And I fought that battle, and then I did. But then I still felt sick, and I was like, why am I still feeling sick? I went to the doctors, and my nurse at the time, and she told me, she says, you're pregnant. Wow. And that was like, whoa, for me, because I didn't think I could have a kid. So it was like, I actually said to the nurse, I'm not pregnant. I can't.
Don't believe it kind of thing.
Yeah. So I had to see it, and I looked, and I was so happy. And it was just like this light in my life. Finally, something beautiful is after happening for me. And I went through the 9 months of pregnancy. It wasn't the way you'd expect a pregnancy to be so blossoming and beautiful all the time. It wasn't, because unfortunately he stayed in addiction, and he was aggressive and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. So for my daughter, I made the right choice when she turned 8 months to get away from him and do what was right for me.
So you just so when you found out that you are pregnant, did you just kick the habit?
So when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't smoke, drink, nothing. I just wanted this child to be healthy. So I done it yourself? Yes.
Yeah, that's a sober moment though, for sure. Fucking hell, that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Fair play to you. Not many people have that type of power.
Yeah, that's here, and that's all I'm getting from you now as well. Is just there's a lot of stuff there that's heavy, but your choice to be positive, or even the first thing you said is that you wanted your purpose to be to help others. It's so not the obvious thing. Do you know what I mean? People usually fall back the other way, and it's a spiral that doesn't really go anywhere. But you really seem to have taken that in your favor to your advantage, really. You know, so
100%.
serious respect for that. Like, that's serious.
And look, let me ask you a quick question. Yeah, and this off the record, but like obviously it's on record, but like what? Not many people know this about you, do they? I don't think so.
Do you know, a lot of people said to me, like, because I'm very open as a person, and I don't know why, but I just feel like I want to help others, and that's why. Do you know, I feel like, you know, unfortunately, stuff that I've endured, and like, if I don't speak out and help others, you know, there's suicides, there's things that are happening, and I'm saying to myself, if I don't show them that I've got through this, that there is hope, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, what good am I? So I do feel that my purpose is to help others and
how is
back.
your kid now?
Yeah. So she's doing amazing. She turned 6 on the 11th of April.
Oh, brilliant.
And she's in a stage school that she does, and she's going to be doing a play in the Gaiety Theatre in October. So,
wow,
you know,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Class.
Class.
Keep it in the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Entertainment, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, go on, you take it on.
That's good, yeah. Right, so then, from finding out you're pregnant, kicking everything, getting away from the aggressive partner and all that kind of stuff, from that point to... How do you get to TopNotchBaby? How does that happen?
Yeah, so with Topnotch, as a kid, I always wanted to be into music and all that kind of stuff. I didn't realise rapper, like I was going to have that title, because it was just a bit of fun with the kids. You know, in the car park, I'd be rapping, you know, the S to the H to the O and rapping all that stuff, you know. So it was just a bit of fun back in the day. But my first ever gig was in the Lost Society, and Fabio D was presenting the show. And that was, you know, that was it for me. I was like, if this goes well, I'm sticking at it. If it doesn't, I'm not. Went in, and I tell you, the whole crowd was hopping. I done 2 tracks, and that was it for me. I just that adrenaline. No drug could give me that adrenaline. I loved it, so I knew it was for me. You know? Yeah.
Wow. So then that was it. And when was that exactly?
Yeah. I honestly can't remember, because I done so many gigs after that and stuff. It was so much like happening after that. Like I done like talent shows, and I made finals of all 3 talent shows for music competitions. So and then I done the Ireland's Got Talent TV show in 2018.
Okay.
That for me was an experience, but again, I was with the father of my baby at the time, so you know, he was trying to control me, unfortunately, and tell me like I can't do this, can't do that. Like I wanted to do rap, and he was like, you can't do that and stuff. So fortunately at that time, I didn't feel like I had, you know, where I wanted to be. I just didn't feel like I could do so much at that time, unfortunately.
And like, let me slow you down for a sec. And where did you get the confidence to rap, like on camera? Like, where did you get the confidence for that after coming through everything that you did? And growing up the way you did? Yeah,
so in school, I would have been chosen by my classmates to be the queen in a skill play. So I done that and I enjoyed that. And then in 6th class, I was going to do a song with a girl in my skill. And the thing what happened is she actually chickened out on the day of performing.
Oh, no.
So I said, I'm going out. I done Britney Spears' Baby one more time, pigtails in the skill uniform.
I love it.
And I won a prize at the end of it, and the cheer that I got from everyone. So I feel that's what kind of pushed me into that. I loved what I wanted to do, yeah.
That's amazing. So do you feel like there was validation from your performance and stuff like that? Yeah. Deadly, And then so what's the state of play now at the minute?
Yeah, so I took on DJing. I done a course there with Alan Keane. Amazing, really enjoyed it, and that's where I feel like I want to go with DJing as well and music production.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And so is there any more? Do you do any more gigs in terms of your own music?
Yeah, I just recently done for Focus Ireland. I done a couple of tunes there in Blanchardstown where I grew up. So it was very nice to go back and do that, like, so it was really good. Yeah,
full circle moment.
Yes.
To be honest with you, me personally, I wanna ask you a few personal questions that a lot of people would like to. How do you deal with the criticism on the comments?
Yeah.
Because let's if we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about this, let's be true to ourselves. The reason why I asked that is I've seen your video from early, let's say 2015. Like, I think you were posting on Facebook before you were posting anywhere else.
Yeah,
I think I've seen your videos before. And your video was shared so many times on Facebook. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with that came the criticism underneath it, you know what I mean? And we all know a lot of us are keyboard gangsters.
Yeah.
So the shit that was said underneath it, how do you deal with that?
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because recently I done a podcast for our Kitchen Talk podcast, and one of the lads that was interviewing me actually owned up to him being one of them.
No way.
That done it, yeah. Wow. And I admired him for it, because it takes a lot for a man to go, do you know what? I apologise, and I did do that to you. you know. For me, back in the day, I would have been so distraught over one negative message. It would have killed me because I was in so much pain, and then I'm just like, what? Do you know what I mean? What did I do? Do you know? But now looking back, I feel it's a reflection on them, not on me, because I'm doing good, I'm giving back, I'm doing what I can. Do you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that will hate on other people doing something that they want to do. And I used to feel sorry for them, but then I realised sometimes you have to be selfish and realise, do you know what, if they're going to feel that way, do you know what? I had my bad days, and I've seen girls on the internet looking, smacking, amazing. I'm not going to look at them and go, yeah, I'm going to put them down, make them feel like crap. Hell no. When I'm having my down days, I'm going to look and go, fair play to them. I'm struggling now, but I'm going to get back on the wagon, and I'm going to move forward, and not, you know what I mean, push forward. And, you know, recently there's a girl that's doing modelling, lovely girl, right? And I actually had a conversation with her on the back of a bus, me and her heart to heart, about, you know, the jealousy that we get. We just want to feel good and, you know, enjoy life and feel positive and things. But there's always these trolls trying to bring us down, drag us down. I texted her the other day and she responded back to me, and I just gave her a little bit of love. And I says, look, do you know, going back from that day, see how far you've grown and what you're doing now. I'm really glad to see it, you know, and that's what women empower women. That's what it should be about.
Yeah, like the way you speak with a lot of pain as well, and you speak with a lot of truth in your heart. See this fella, yeah? This fella will be like very close to me, yeah? Have you anyone that's that close to you as a mate that ever turned around to you and goes, no, rapping is not it?
Do you know, for me, it was the opposite.
You're not doing it right. You're not getting it.
Yeah, for me, it was the opposite. Slick Bullet, my producer, pulled me into the studio. Let's record a track, level up, put it out, and everyone started realising she can rap. Do you know, people are seeing me in the light that they wanted to see me in, but when they seen that I am productive, and from the stuff, like, don't get me wrong, when I look back on stuff, I'm like, whoa, cringy, you know, because from the things I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking, right? But again, I was going through stuff, and I still tried to fight my battles, and I built myself, and if you look at most of the artists out there, when you look at stuff, like people bring back stuff from years ago, they look back and they say, I want to scrap that video, what's that still doing online, you know? But like, you learn and you grow from these things, like, you want to be better from the last time you've done stuff, so every time you're putting out content and things like that, you don't want it to be worse than what you've done before. So if anything, it's probably better that you do worse before so you can get better, you know, that kind of way improve from it. Yeah.
Oh, whatever, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And quite similar to his question there, is there anyone or is there anything that you could attribute your mindset to in terms of how you're thinking about things? Because it's like, was that something that was always in you? Like, I know I've already said it, like in the sense of what everything that you've came through and still use it in your favour and your advantage in a positive way. Yeah. So do you feel like, is there anyone you could look back at in your life at any point and kind of go, I feel like they had that kind of mark on me, gave me that imprint?
There's too many to mention names, I think, because I feel throughout I was lucky in that sense that I had a lot of good people giving me good direction and supporting me, do you know, and I'm one to read self-help books. I love all that kind of stuff. So, you know, things like that. Heart, I think it was A Path to Heart. I read that book and that really, I felt so much through that. So books were just what I loved, you know, and that helped me as well. I think reading books, and even if you can't read, audiobooks, you know, that helps, really does help,
Okay, and like one of the questions that a lot of people want to know is, like, do you write your own lyrics?
Yes, I do. I love to write how I experience things. And, you know, at the time, like when I was going through my dad, like him leaving me when I was 8, I was going through stuff. So I wrote that. Now, when I like listen back, I haven't listened to the stuff now recently, but just like from remembering bits of that, I was really angry at him. Like, it was like, I was like, Daddy, why did you leave? Like, I was really, really distraught. But now looking back, like, I actually managed to get in touch with my dad, right? I think he's somewhere overseas. I don't know where, but I'd love to find my dad, please God, you know, sooner. I actually had a conversation. So basically how it came about was my cousin that I don't know, like I've only known of him online because we've never met, but he has me on Facebook, and I just put up a post one time. I was like, I just wish I could find my dad. He reached out to me, says, I have your dad's number. Do you want that? I was like, yes. Of course, you know? So my dad, and then I gave my number. So my dad actually rang me. Wow. And we had this beautiful conversation. And I just remember him saying, look, I didn't leave because of you. I just, you know, the circumstances, stuff like that. So that was nice. But unfortunately, again, with the father of my baby, because a lot of, like, that's the thing with a relationship, if you get with the wrong person, they will control your life. And you know, my dad rang again another time, and we're having this lovely video call and a chat and stuff, but he would have to, you know, throw daggers at my mom saying she's this, she's that and stuff like that because he's hurting his own way and stuff like that. As relationships do, you know, people always say, oh, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. But it's really, what's the point in the blame game? Just own up and say, look, it's not meant to work out. We tried and this and that. Grow apart and like build a bridge, not like the bridge that broke that time. Build an arm bridge and just move over it, swiftly. Do you know, and just let it go instead of that hurt and anger and hating someone because it's just not meant to work. And
so you brought your dad up a good few times. Like, and like when you were bringing, you brought your dad up at the start, you brought it up in the middle, and you brought it up again there. And when I asked you about all your addictions, do you reckon that was daddy issues?
Definitely. Because if my dad was around, like most of them lads wouldn't have tried. They would have been afraid of authority, you know. But because my mom was there and she was very like fragile and stuff, like they felt like, oh, we can kind of prey on her. Unfortunately,
but when you say like that's there you go. Like when you said you hung out with these lads and you had fun with these people in fields drinking and all. Now what I'm getting from this conversation is these lads, you're devil. They were devils. So like when you say this, I'd like to know. Specifically what you meant by prey, like were you forced to doing things that you didn't want to do?
I remember being in the field in where the Bell is across from there with my friends, and these guys were like trying to talk to us and stuff, and then a guy kept asking me and I kept saying no, and I like he didn't get it, but he just kept like really coming on full front. And like, you know, I did mention it with Kitchen Talk podcast, but I don't want to get too much into it. But in terms of like where I nearly got and I was 14 day before my 15th birthday, so stuff like that. And like due to this I have a bit of a longer hold due to the aggressiveness, so stuff like that put fear, installed fear in me, you know. Unfortunately, like it really did. And
no, see that now I understand what you mean now, by because your dad was gone and the fear or whatever. So like a lot of them put pressure on you, a lot of them try to take advantage of you is what you're basically saying to me. And I'm very sorry to hear that, and thank you for sharing that with us, you know. But like to get to the meaning of the conversation, I had to ask you them questions. I had to take you to that little spot, you know what I mean? But fair play to you for sharing that with me. But so like if your dad was around, you reckon you would have been a different girl altogether?
Definitely, I do.
Or you probably wouldn't have been hanging around with those people in the first place anyway, kind of thing. Okay.
I do feel like the family home wouldn't have been distraught and broken down, because I feel like for my mum and dad to like part ways, and like especially from coming over from a different country all the way over here, and then her being left in a different country with no family, no connections. So it was just like my mum was stuck, then the three of us felt like, you know, like we just
we're all going through something individually, really.
And like, did any of this trickle down to any of your other siblings?
So my brother just became quiet and just kind of done his own thing. He just, you know, kind of boxed himself off.
Introverted,
Yeah, my sister, like she works and stuff like that. She just kept herself busy. I feel like because I was just left to my own devices, unfortunately I got caught up in the madness. Like
And have you still got contact with your baby daddy?
So that's the thing, I don't. And I had to make the right choice. I did. See, this is the thing as well. You know the way like men try to be like, oh, she won't let me see my child and stuff like that, and then we feel bad. Unfortunately, I would love no more than my daughter to see her dad, because I experienced pain because of that, so I would not want her to not. But unfortunately, when he chooses addiction over his beautiful, gorgeous little daughter, that's so amazing, like I absolutely love her, like how can he walk away and choose crap and ruin his life instead of saving his daughters and give? Fair enough, he ruined his chances as a kid and he didn't do the right things, but make up for your child at least. You know, so I put my hands out there to single women out there that are struggling because the man doesn't know better, choose better. Now don't get me wrong, there is the opposite way with that as well, because Slick Bullet that mentioned it on the podcast, we have a podcast called Guts Over Freedom Podcast, and Samuel Edwards openly spoke out about how he takes the challenge of, you know what, I don't get on with the map, but I'm still going to be there for my child. And that is a real man, a real dad, you know, to his kid. No matter what's going on, the circumstances between the parents, let the kid grow up into a good foundation.
I respect that. I've never, do you know what the funny thing is, like being a hurt, you being hurt and being able to speak the way you're speaking about the father of your kid is respectful, you know what I mean? Because like we all been through it.
Absolutely.
Every one of us been through it, you know what I mean? So I get where you're coming from. And like, you know what I mean? So it's a sad thing is, it's Ireland. Like Ireland, I always say, like, I don't want to throw shades at you, but this is something that a lot of us are going through, a lot of men are going through, especially if you're I can't even blame it on a colour. I just think in this country, I feel like now in a man's shoe, I feel like women have authority when it comes to kids. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, for example, if I was to break up with my missus now, my kids, whenever my missus want me to see my kids is when I'm going to see my kids. Right, okay. You know, it goes from seeing your kids every day, staying with your kids every day, to the girl having control of whatever. And I get it, there's men out there that don't want to do fuck all with their kids. And I don't want to put the time in or whatever. And that brings me back to what you just said there. When you were pregnant with your little girl, you were addicted. So was the fella.
I actually wasn't, because as I told you there, I actually got away from all that hardcore stuff, and then I fell pregnant. So automatically I was off everything.
But he was still on it.
And I stayed then.
But he was still on it. Yeah. So
that's the thing. I actually got him help and got him to rehab, and he got a ticket to Zurich. I got him help. I got the ticket for him to go to Zurich, to Switzerland, to get help, right? And I was actually still, the insanity of it, because he was abusive, right? So the insanity of me actually still wanting to give him a chance for my daughter, right? For our daughter, and I let him get that recovery, get that help, and hopefully that he would have got better. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a chance. And then he's there on a video call with some guy from Spain or something. They're walking out with the treatment. So I'm like, no, hell no. So I was going to an event that night, and I just told him on the phone, look, I'm done with you. We're splitting up. My daughter comes first. And that's the thing. I feel before I had my daughter, I was accepting. I didn't realise, I still didn't have that.
But that's what I'm saying to you, though. You got one when he was addicted, when he was strung out, basically, So when he got strung out, we all know when people are strung out, they don't think right.
No.
They're all in different space, different atmosphere. And, okay, you got pregnant. Okay?
Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it is him being strung out. Clearly, he didn't choose that to have a baby either. It happened mistakenly. He didn't plan it.
Well, he did say he wanted to have a child.
But he just planned to have the baby, though.
So the thing is, it wasn't where we said, right, we're going to have a baby, but he always mentioned how much he really wanted a child. I know he loves his daughter, but unfortunately, he loves his addiction more than his daughter, and that's what
the problem.
Happens with
that's
addicts.
The problem there. You know what I mean? Addictions, you can't just stop addiction.
Yeah.
You know, this is the thing. If he was strung out for that long, it doesn't just stop.
No, I know.
You know, and some people, you can send them to treatment, you can put them anywhere you want, you put money in their fucking pocket. If they don't want to stop, it's not going to
happen.
What broke my heart the most was recently in school, I got a call from my daughter's teacher saying, just thought I'd let you know that your daughter has been talking about to another girl that's a little bit older in the school, and she told us, so your daughter is saying that my daddy drinks and is on drugs and he was in the hospital. Right, so that brought up stuff, and it's brought up stuff about, because I fell out of love with him well, you know, when I broke off him, obviously, and I grew as a person, so I'd never go back to that. That's you know what I mean, that's a closed door. Yeah. But for my daughter to value a man, to look up to a daddy figure, how can she when he's doing those things? So for me, it's a bit of that selfishness. At the end of the day, after I had Sarah, I'm not going to say I was an angel, because I probably fell into a little trap of, drinking's okay, it's not the hardcore stuff and stuff like that down the line. But then I picked myself back up and I fought, and because I know it's not easy. The addiction is not easy, and I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't ask him for a penny, right?
But see, that's the power in you, though. This is where we're going to end it here, but this power in you, because what it is for me is you being so strong in yourself, you know, and your daughter knowing about the drink and their dad being addicted. Is that on you, or is that on that?
So
because if he's not being in the picture, how does the daughter know that the dad's drinking?
Unfortunately, at the time, because I still wanted her to see her dad, because I knew what had done to me, I still tried to see past that and go, do you know what? I know I don't want to be with him, but for Zara, I don't want to be selfish and take that from Zara, right? From my daughter, So I actually brought her down to the hospital where he was, because, you know, with what happened to him, with, you know, stuff, he ended up in hospital. So she remembers those incidents and things like that, you know. I did try, I gave him chances, he got to see her a few times, but then when I heard that he was, you know, of course you don't want anyone's child to be around someone that's on
They're not at their best.
Yeah, because if they can't look after themselves, they're hardly going to be able to look after a child, and you don't want to leave your child in that predicament, because anything sadly could happen. And this is the thing, the sad truth about it is that's where all these things happen to kids with abuse and stuff like that, because the kids are left there, they're too busy with drugs, and then that child, something happens, God forbid, and then they're growing up with abuse. Do you know? So protect the children, and that's the choice that I chose to make. Is my child is my everything. I love her, and you know what? As they say, is one parent to do their best to the child is much better than to have that conflict and that child growing into that. So, you know, she's amazing, my daughter, like, and I'm so proud of her. Like, she's inspired me. Yeah. My 6-year-old inspired me as a mother, because she gives me that get up and go and that, like, you know, fruitful for life to enjoy, because, you know, it's not just her, it's all those kids. They deserve happiness and a great way to grow up and have that goodness in their lives. So to help protect them and just be that person to help them and give them that push.
Bars.
Anything else?
Straight bars right there. That was the shit. That was, I feel positive as fuck today after that as well. No, but I think that's like perfect. My only thing is, obviously we're tight for time, so we're going to wrap up. If you were to give, if there was one message you could give people generally across the board for life, what would you say?
Enjoy the process of growing up. Don't grow up too quick. Because when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up too quick. I looked at the media, I looked at these artists, and I was like, I want to grow up like them. Take things from them and learn, but grow for yourself as a person. Grow up and learn from the right people. Don't just watch things and observe stuff. Take in what you need to take, like read those books, you know what I mean? Check in with the right people and know it's okay to open up. You know, I know a lot of people have an ego sometimes out there and stuff. Let that go, because you need to shine for you, and the people that are good for you will be the ones you want to be around in anyways, right?
Yeah. Brilliant.
That's the shit right there.
I truly appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Honestly, you've been honest throughout the whole podcast. I truly appreciate that. And guys, you need to understand, this is all our opinions. Everything that we said here, nothing is factual from my side or his side. We're just giving our own opinions into it. We want to respect her for being so honest and being so truthful to us. And guys, if you like what we fucking do, like, subscribe, and get that fucking thing popping. Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.